Hello future tech leaders, I am Sindhuja. Based on my own experience, I know that learning the right skills can shape our future. What if I say learning was as thrilled as the tech world itself? There we go. A cloud foundation, that's exactly what you will experience. From day one, you will be immersed in the interactive sessions and expert-led courses that covers most of the widely used technologies in the zone of data science to cloud computing, which brings more light to the life of a techie. I'm so excited to help you and unlock the true potential of a technology. Well, then why to wait? Let's see what it unfolds.
Now moving forward on the purchase side as well, we saw that in case if there is some defective item in we want to return it, we can return it by creating a vendor return authorization. Similarly, on the sales side, you can return or the customer can return a particular item to us. I can go to that sales order and click on authorized return, or I can go to transactions, sales, and here transactions customer, and I can click on issue return authorization. Return authorization is nothing, but in case if a customer wants to return something, I can do that. If I don't know the sales order number or any other information, I can just go to this issue, return authorization. But here I'll have to select everything from scratch. The customer, the item that is being returned, and the quantity. Everything would be entered manually. I'll have to select the customer and all other information on this particular return authorization. But if I go to that sales order and click on return authorization, everything would get auto-populated. I just need to enter the quantity that is being returned by that particular customer. The customer would be auto-populated. The item would be populated. The quantity would be populated as well. Currently, I had only invoiced one quantity, but in case if there are, you can say 10 items. You can say 10 quantity that had fulfilled or sold, but the customer is only returning 2 out of it. I can change the quantity accordingly and I can click on save. This will create a return authorization. The return authorization is also not going to impact my financials yet. When I create an item receipt, in case if this particular customer has returned this particular item to me, I can create an item receipt. That it will increase my inventory again. And once that is done, I can give a credit note to the customer. If I click on receive, it will create an item receipt wherein I'll accept the item from the customer. It is going to increase my inventory again. Everything would get auto-populated. You will have the item as well. You will have the location and all other information and you can just click on save. This is also going to hit my financials. It's going to increase my inventory again. And if I go back to the return authorization, you will see that the status of that return authorization will not change from pending receipt to pending refund. And if you want to see the GL impact of it, you can just go to actions and click on GL impact. It's going to hit the inventory account. It's going to debit my inventory. It's going to increase my inventory. And if I go back to the return authorization, if I want to give the refund back to the customer, because I had created a cash sale, I can refund the amount back to the customer again. In case, if I had accepted the payment separately on the invoice, I could have created a credit memo as well. Or I can do a customer refund. Here I can create a credit memo. In case if I want to refund it, I can refund it as well. There are both options which are available. Everything would get auto-populated and I can just click on save. And this credit memo can be applied to the future customer invoices against this particular customer. This credit memo is also going to have an impact on the financials. It's going to hit my accounts receivable. And it's going to nullify the impact for this particular customer return variance. Here it has been credited. If I see the GL impact, you will see that it's going to hit or it's going to hit you can say hitting the accounts receivable and it's going to hit my, you can say, revenue. And this customer variance would be on the impact of the authorization or the return authorization that I had created. Is it fine? One question. Each and every transaction has its own GL impact. And that GL impact depends on the accounts that we have selected on the item. See why this is because different customers we want. We might want them to hit different accounts, receivable accounts. Different items might hit different inventory asset accounts, or they might also have different calls account. They might also have different, you can say, asset accounts, or they might also have different expense accounts. Depending on that, the GL impact changes. But the type of account always remains the same. It's always going to, or the item fulfillment is always going to hit my COGS and it's always going to hit my inventory asset account. Invoice is always going to hit the accounts, receivable accounts, and it's also going to hit my income account. But these will depend on the accounts that I have selected on that particular item and the customer. This is how the sales process works. We create a sales order. We do the item fulfillment. From the item fulfillment, I can create an invoice. Then accept the payment, or I can create a customer or the cash sale if required if I'm doing a store pickup. That's it for today. Tomorrow we'll meet up again, and tomorrow we are going to start an important topic which would be enable features. And once the enable features is done, we'll start the account. You can say accounting preferences. These two are very important topics. Let's start that tomorrow. And finally, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel.